Hey folks, how are you? Joe DeSanto here. Thanks for joining me in another installment of my Q&A videos. Okay, so going to talk a little bit about credit card late payments and how it's incredibly important that you avoid them, and I'll explain why in a sec. But in the meantime, I wanted to let you know that I recently relaunched my main course. It's now called Personal Finance Mastery, and it is a perfect top to bottom overview of how to do personal finance the right way. It includes information about planning for your future, creating your retirement roadmap, also about investing, entrepreneurship, tax planning, and of course, how to do good accounting so that you make sure your plan is coming to fruition. So check that out, link below. Okay, so in terms of credit cards, main question in here is there, besides a general dispute, is there a way to remove late payments from your credit report? And then additionally, how much impact do late payments have, and do they worsen if you continue to not pay the card, and so on? I want to first say that late payments on your credit card are one of the worst things you can have. I mean, they greatly impact your score, and their effect will last for a couple of years. And they are very difficult to get off your credit report. They come in a few flavors. I shouldn't say, I guess a few different flavors, more escalations. So usually with credit cards, you can be up to 30 days late before they will report you to the credit reporting agency as a late payment. So that means if your due date, is April 1st, say, if you pay before April 30th, even though you're late, you won't necessarily get a late payment ding on your credit report. But check with your credit card specifically to make sure that's the case. You shouldn't be making payments late anyway, but double check with each of your credit card providers to make sure that you get that 30-day grace period. After that, you get the ding, the 30-day late ding. And that will affect your credit score pretty significantly. I don't know exactly for sure. Credit scoring is, a little bit all over the place. But, it could be as much as 20 or 30 points lower. Now, if you continue to not make your payment, you will end up with a 60-day late. And then if you continue yet again, you'll end up with a 90-day late. I think that's kind of where they end. And of course, the more days late you are, the worse it is. Now, also, you can end up with a 30, 60, or 90-day late in a different billing cycle as well. So if you were to be 30 days late once in a 12-month period, one billing cycle, that would have a great impact on your score just alone, and it won't leave your credit report until 2 years. But if you're 60 days late or 30 or 60 or 90 days late every month, you will get a ding for every month. If you do a year of late payments, your credit score is going to be pretty much in the stinker for a while. So other things that affect your credit score as, similarly, but not even as much, is high credit availability to usage percentage. So if you have $10,000 of available credit on credit cards and you're using $9,000, you have 90% usage. That will affect your score greatly. Now, you can fix that by paying off your credit card and reducing your percentage, or you can even get more credit. If you get more credit but don't pay down that $9,000 balance, you'll also increase your usage capacity. But having high usage is one of the other really big factors. Beyond the late payments, honestly, it's like judgments, through some sort of claims court, and then bankruptcy. It's like late payments are pretty much very high up there in the disturbing of your credit score. So pay great attention to those. In terms of increasing your credit, the only downside of that is when you go get the new credit, you get a ding for a credit inquiry, but that's a small ding, and then the value of the additional credit, is worth a lot more. The main way to avoid late payments, it's just put your card on auto pay. I have every one of my cards at least on minimum payment auto pay. And I go to the credit cards website to do that. I don't, like, I use Quicken, for my personal finance sort of accounting, and Quicken will send a payment, or my bank bill pay will send a check. Don't do that. Go to the credit card website directly. Do the auto pay on the credit card website, because that way, if there's a problem and it doesn't happen, at least you can say to the credit card, hey, I'm using your system. You were supposed to withdraw the money. You have my approval to do that. You're bad, and maybe you could reverse a payment issue. But honestly, I don't know how many years I've been doing credit card website auto pays, there's never been a missed payment. So just put everything on at least the minimum payment if you're worried about, too big a payment come out of your checking account unexpectedly. Ideally, you're not spending more money in your life than you make, so that you can pay your credit card in full off every month. That is what I do. I actually have auto pay for my credit cards to pay in full. And my credit card utilization is very low relative to my available credit. So definitely at least go do the minimum auto pay and make sure you are not missing any payments. And then finally, when your credit score recover, if you have one missed payment, one late payment, that will probably remain on your credit report for 2 years. It will be very hard to get off. We had one, my wife had one on one of her credit cards way back when. We even paid a service to try to go get it off, and they were just like, no dice, sorry. And we just had to wait it out. But that was one 30-day late on one credit card, 1 month out of so many years, and it had a huge effect. But, the effect did dissipate over that 2 years, but it didn't fall off the credit report for 2 years, and then when it did, the score went up a pretty good amount. So, really important, pay your credit cards on time. All right, talk to you later. See ya.